Karibuni to the Now Report on TV47. My name is Furaha and it's a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday. Leo tumeamka kukiwa na kabaridi kiasi, but as always, I am here for you guys. Now, I want us to get straight into it. If you're in the business of importing smartphones, routers, or modems into Kenya, the Communications Authority just added a shiny new piece of paperwork to your supply chain. The regulator has officially launched a mandatory communication equipment distributor, a CED license. Na hii ni kumaanisha anyone bringing tech hardware into the country on a wholesale level has to get licensed fast. And if you thought your old vendor permit gave you a free pass, you need to think again. The CSA's existing license holders must apply for the new CED permit immediately if they want to keep goods moving through customs. Designed to flash fake phones, sketchy modems, and substandard electronics out of the Kenyan market, the new rules tie custom clearance on the TradeNet system directly to this new license. Ignore the memo and you could be looking at fines of up to 1 million shillings, up to 3 years behind bars or both. Now, safe to say, bringing tech into the country just got a whole lot more official and expensive. And honestly speaking, I don't know. I don't know how the vendors out here are going to feel about this. You need to pay, they'll be paying more and getting for the licenses and everything now. Ni kama vitu zinaenda kupanda tena, because we all know just how the sellers react when they need to spend a bit more to get things done. Anyways, at least, as they say, it will help keep the fake items out of the market easy. Anyway, tutaona vile hiyo story tena. Now, losing a World Cup final in extra time is a bitter pill to swallow. But try telling that to an Argentine football fans. Thousands of sky blue and white faithful flooded the roads outside Ezeiza International Airport in Buenos Aires, setting off fireworks, waving flags, and chanting as an open-top bus carried Lionel Scaloni's squad back to the national training complex. Even after a heartbreaking 1-0 extra time loss to Spain in the final, supporters turned out in massive numbers to honor their team's fight and grit. However, amidst the sea of fans and party atmosphere, there was one giant elephant in the room. Where was Lionel Messi? The legendary captain was noticeably absent from the squad that touched down at Ezeiza, leaving fans to celebrate the runners-up without their star man. But trophy or no trophy, Messi or no Messi, Buenos Aires proved once again that when it comes to football, the passion never stops. Well, there's a lot of conversations going on online in regards to that game and however it went. Of course, many of them are just rumors. But then it leaves many questions in people's minds, especially how the entire game itself went. Anyways, now, Africa's top public health agency firmly opposed international travel bans on Tuesday in response to the continent's worsening Ebola crisis, calling on the United States to immediately roll back restrictions targeting Uganda. Speaking at an African Union Health Summit in Accra, Ghana, Africa CDC Director General John Kaseya emphasized that travel restrictions actively hinder response efforts, noting that he appealed directly to U.S. Health Secretary Robert F. Kennedy, Jr. to exempt Uganda after the nation had marked 3 weeks without a new case and discharged its final patient. While urging global powers not to penalize transparent nations, Kaseya warned that the broader outbreak centered in the DRC, Congo, with over 2,344 confirmed cases and 930 deaths, is escalating so rapidly it risks becoming the worst in recorded history. With health workers currently tracking only 8,500 of the nearly 97,000 high-risk contacts, the Africa CDC appealed for $1.4 billion in urgent emergency funding to prevent a catastrophic global spread.
If we don't stop this outbreak today, it will be the worst one that the world will be documenting. And this slide is showing you what I'm just telling you. When you take a photo after 9 weeks of declaration, look, the figure that we have. And that one, we cannot afford to have it. And I want also to say that the Minister of Ghana of Foreign Affairs requested me during a committee of head of state meeting. Is Africa CDC calling for travel ban or is calling to stop meetings? No. This is why we are here today. We are not advising for travel ban. We are not advising to stop meeting.
Tukisonga mbele, let's go to New York City, where Mayor Zoran Mamdani rolled out the least welcoming mat in Big Apple history on Tuesday night. Officially declaring Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu persona non grata ahead of September's UN General Assembly. After running his city legal team through a marathon review to see if the NYPD could legally slap cuffs on Netanyahu over his ICC war crime warrant, Mamdani had to admit City Hall lacks the power to turn Times Square into an international tribunal hub. Benjamin Netanyahu is a war criminal. He is not welcome in New York City, Mamdani declared, practically advising the Israeli leader to cancel any dinner reservations at Washington quickly stepped in to pour cold water on the mayor's boycott. President Donald Trump promised Netanyahu won't be arrested in any shape or form on American soil, while U.S. Ambassador Mike Waltz dismissed the whole municipal saga as pure political theater, with Israel's UN ambassador calling out the mayor's rhetoric and the federal government holding all the handcuffs. Netanyahu's September trip to the UN remains fully on the itinerary, though he probably shouldn't expect a key to the city.
Who is a war criminal, the architect of a horrific genocide against the Palestinian people. He is responsible for the killing of more than 73,000 people, for the maiming of tens of thousands of children as those who survive undergo amputation without anesthesia, for the targeting of neonatal hospitals and maternity care centers, denying newborns even the chance to live, for the countless people he starved as he blocked food and humanitarian aid from reaching them, for the gunning down of hundreds of aid workers and journalists. And just last month, the UN confirmed that Palestinian children continue to be deliberately targeted and killed by Israeli armed forces. My administration has reviewed every avenue available under applicable law to determine whether New York City could execute the International Criminal Court's arrest warrant if Benjamin Netanyahu came here. It is clear that we do not have the independent legal authority to enforce this warrant. The federal government, however, does, and I call on them to join the ICC and execute this warrant. And I want to be equally clear. Benjamin Netanyahu is not welcome in New York City, nor is any other war criminal at large. While we cannot end the genocide on our own, we can decide whether our silence will become another weapon, and we can examine every tool we have to defend the humanity and dignity of all people. That is my commitment to you.
Well, I've always found it really interesting how US functions, how independent states can be with their mayors and everything. But anyway, niko sure, sidhani kama atashikwa, guys. I don't think it will happen, especially with the relationship that Trump has with Netanyahu. Anyways, ni kama tulikuwa tumeenda mbali sana, nataka turudi Afrika kidogo, especially in Kampala. Young mothers in Kampala are transforming environmental waste into economic independence by converting discarded charcoal dust into eco-friendly biofuel briquettes. Working with local NGO Set Her Free, vulnerable teenage mothers and school dropout mix charcoal dust with binder clay and water before molding the mixture and drying it in the sun. Organization founder Robina Muganzi highlighted that over 5,000 young women have gained vocational skills through their programs, though more funding is needed to reach more at-risk youths. For young mothers like Angel Nantongo, selling their briquettes provides crucial income for baby supplies, while local residents report that switching from firewood to briquettes has made their kitchens virtually smoke-free, helping curb respiratory issues and local deforestation.
When we get that charcoal dust, we bring it here, we add it with clay. We mix clay with water to get that residue, that liquidy form of clay. And then that is what we use to mold the briquettes. We mix it together with charcoal dust, and then we mold. Over 5,000 girls have gone through our hands. I've learned the skills that we've taught them. They have salons, they have boutiques, and they are also learning the briquettes. Get a number of girls who come in that need support, but we end up limiting them because of the support we have, the limited support. So we call upon funders to come and support Set Her Free. We need your support. We have so many teenage mothers in our community that we need to reach out to. We have so many other young girls who are vulnerable, who have dropped out of school, who are looking for employment, that can come and join Set Her Free, and then we train them in these skills.
Of us are teenage mothers. When we get that money from briquettes, we decide it helps us to buy basic needs for our babies and also us.
Well, ni kama nilikuwa nimerudi nyumbani haraka sana. We are going back again to New York, where frustrated New York motorists pulled into local filling stations on Tuesday to face severe sticker shock as the US national average for regular gasoline surged back up past $4 a gallon. Triggered by escalating military tensions with Iran and lingering disruptions along the critical Strait of Hormuz shipping corridor, pump prices jumped to an average of 540 shillings in New York, with some city stations displaying figures as high as 700 shillings. The sudden price surge has forced drivers to rethink daily routines, with many choosing to buy minimal amount of fuel, trim non-essential trips, or rely strictly on work reimbursed travel. As AAA reports national diesel averages climbing near 660 shillings a gallon, motorists expressed growing confusion and anger over how overseas conflict continues to erode personal budgets and wipe out standard mileage allowances. Now, you should note that a gallon is around 3 liters, so if a gallon is 660 shillings, that's like 220 shillings per liter, which is almost the same price in Kenya. Now, swali yangu hapa ni, will it jump higher now that inakaribia kumachi yetu? Now in Kenya tutapandisha tena, itapungua? Asione kipungua, guys, but that is just my opinion, of course. What do you think will actually happen now that again wameanza kukosana tena, prices imepanda huko majuu? Najua tu one way or the other zetu zitapanda tena. Very curious to see how everyone else is going to respond to that. Either way, guys, that is all from me today. That was the Now Report at 12:30 p.m. Next ni TV47 at 1. Jioni Now Report tena na Daddy Mato is also coming. Otherwise, you take care. Have a lovely day, guys.